Welcome back to the main event. This is the #1 rated YouTube show in our time slot for our demographic on Sunday nights when it's cold outside. Today, we are going over several topics. We have a huge Buccaneer victory. The Rays lost a franchise. The death of Ray Perkins and possibly the Vikings kicker. Stick with us. We've got the Chief and TSG. B-Love will be back. He is on assignment currently. He will be here shortly and join us. But this is the main event. What a great Sunday we had.
I love the hat.
Look at that. Punxsutawney Phil right there.
I don't want to give too much away. But
is it going to be a long or short winter?
I don't know, man. It's probably I'll do some chimney sweeping maybe on my days off. I don't know.
Did you see your shadow?
I didn't see my shadow, no.
But, all right.
I just want to give a little teaser out there to our next short we're actively working on.
That is it, man. We have got a new short coming. It should be releasing Saturday as our goal. It is Christmas themed. It should be, we think, our best video yet. That's how we do things around here. We keep going up, stepping up.
Is it?
All right.
Speaking of stepping up, let's talk about these Buccaneers because they stepped up today.
They stepped up big time, coming off of a bye week. I fully expected them to be quite a bit more prepared than what they seemed to be through those first two drives. They finally turned it around at towards the start of the second quarter, and
they only had like 5 plays in the entire first quarter, so they definitely didn't turn it on then.
At first quarter was no good. So, but yeah, after having a week off, I just felt that should have been more preparation on the especially on the offense. Those first 12 plays should have been completely scripted and completely practiced to perfection. And it did not look that way. What did you guys think?
Yeah, these guys were not ready. I still don't think that they are running the offense that Tom Brady wants to run, that is comfortable with running. I still don't think that the receivers are in tune with what needs to happen at the line of scrimmage. Whenever a blitz takes place, I saw receivers not looking early enough when they were coming off line of scrimmage on blitzes, and then that took Tom Brady out of his rhythm, and he wasn't able to hit the receivers. One of those that looked obviously like one of those that he really overthrew was actually because he looked at a receiver while there was a blitz coming in at him. He looked at a receiver. The receiver wasn't looking at him yet, and by the time he turned around, Tom Brady was just kind of like almost going to throw it away, get rid of it. He couldn't decide who he was going to go to.
This is a team that has hung their hat all season on a defense that can stop the run. And the first half, I think Delvin Cook had over 70 yards. He was approaching 100 yards rushing. Even the quarterback Cousins, he was running on us. I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
These guys came up against a running back that did not want to be tackled. And, he was breaking tackles, and they just did not do a good job against the run. And it really caused them a lot of problems, especially early on in the game.
Yeah.
This is a team that – go ahead, Pooh.
No, I was just going to reiterate that point. I mean, ever since they've lost Vita Vea, who was lost for the season with the terrible ankle injury, the run defense has not been there.
That's exactly where I was going, and we got exposed today. I think some of our stats that we were holding on to that made us look a little bit better than we are right now, but without Vita Vea, we're a bit weaker on the run for sure.
And there's two ways.
I'll tell you this: a bad win is better than a good loss.
Certainly,
yeah, absolutely. And there's two ways they can stop or kind of mask that run defense lacking of, I guess you could say. And one of those is ball control, holding the ball on offense more than they have been. I think they only had 5 minutes of possession in the first quarter. And then 2, getting out ahead, right? So something else they didn't do today. They let the Vikings come in and get ahead. And when you're not playing with the lead, the other team can run and control the ball. If you need to be doing that as the team that is trying to make up for a loss of run defense, control the ball, get your lead open, and make them pass and play to your strength, your defensive strength.
There's no doubt that, they weren't what we expected them to be coming out of the break. But I will say this. So now talking about some of the positive things I did see. You guys know that I looked at over 100 videos there for a couple of weeks. I was really trying to figure out what was going on with the Bucs. And they did go back and look at some video because there's 3 things that I saw. One, they ran the ball a lot more. They ran the ball 18 carries for 80 yards with Ronald Jones. They also ran McCoy 4 for 32 yards.
Yeah.
And where has he been all season?
Yes.
Yeah.
So remember I told you guys, Scotty Miller is what I saw a lot of early in the season, and I saw Shady McCoy, as a third down back, and they used him today. Even though they didn't throw it to him a whole lot out of the backfield, they used him as a decoy with that play action. They always had a running back next to Tom Brady, and they had that play action, so the defense had to honor that. Yeah. And they handed the ball off to him 4 times, and he got 32 yards. That's 8 yards a carry for McCoy. So he had a big day as far as that's concerned. So I did see them do some things, and seeing Scotty catch that pass. And if you look at the receivers, Tom Brady passed it around all over the field. He was going to the open guys. Now he did have 2 that were just really like, what was he throwing at?
Yeah.
And one of those, like I said, was the receiver who wasn't looking quick enough on a blitz. But the other one, I don't know what he was looking at when he was throwing that ball.
Was that a third down play?
Yeah. Well, I think he threw it over Rob Gronkowski's head by a good amount. He could have had 2 interceptions with those overthrows that he had, but he didn't. But what we did do, and that was we made less mistakes than Minnesota. Minnesota made too many mistakes, obviously, with their kicker, but they outdid us in so many things. Total yards, first downs. I could go on and on.
Let's give a shout out to the Vikings kicker, by the way, because he left 10 points on the field. Yeah. Okay, you add those 10 points in, all of a sudden it's a 24-26 game.
Different game.
That's a totally different game. Now you're fighting for survival as opposed to, maybe taking a knee or, maybe just a little ball control. If you score, you score. If you don't, you don't. When you have a 2-score lead is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Because you make it one-dimensional, and then all of a sudden, just like what's happened to us in other games when we've been behind that far, our defensive linemen can pin their ears back, and they know it's got to be a pass. And they're coming after you, and it just got embarrassing at the end for them, which is what happens to any good NFL team when you fall behind like that.
How much fun is it to watch another team struggle with their kicking game, though? I mean, that's been our Achilles heel, or one of our Achilles heels, for years now. And I'm going to tell you, every one of those that he shanked and missed, it just made me feel good.
Yeah.
So,
I felt really good.
What do you think was the key contributing factor to him missing?
Oh man, I think he missed that. He missed that early one, and then it's in his head at that point. I think he missed left, and then the next one he missed right, and then he was like, I don't know what to do. And then of course, then the coach doesn't help him. Coach is is on the 30-yard line, and this is an NFL field goal zone or area, and they just said, nope, we're not going to use you. You stay over there in the corner, next to the water jug.
Were there any fan superstitious things that were happening that might have contributed to that?
So last week he actually did a Three Stooges slip on a kick and missed it. I think that creeped in to this week. So he had a slip and fall and missed a field goal. They mentioned that on the broadcast. And then, like Chief said, he barely missed on that first kick, and then it was in his head on that extra point.
Yeah, but TSJ, you did. So you weren't with us on the game today, and so we're as superstitious as anyone is out there. We stand on extra points and field goal. Actually, we don't have to stand on extra points.
Not anymore. We got a kicker.
Yeah, we still stand for field goals that are more than 45 yards. But Pooh Bear added a wrinkle into it today. He was in his head. He was living rent free. Pooh, tell us that. How does that work? Somehow
from Valrico to Tampa, there was a noise that was getting to Dan Bailey, and it went a little like this.
Just perfectly timed, 1 second, 2 seconds before the snap, and he never had a chance. Every field goal that he missed.
Every time I did it, he missed.
Wow.
Oh, man.
And it got worse and worse and worse. So I think you must have been getting louder and louder and louder.
It definitely was. So Javi's chiming in. He agrees with us. The field goals being missed was what helped the Bucs win today.
It definitely helped the Bucs win today. No doubt about it.
And Javier was our host today. So thank you to Javi and Megan for having us over for the hot dog bar. It was amazing. And it was good to see our friend Louis Chisholm back out.
Yes,
hadn't seen Louis in quite a while. It was good to see him today and mention that he watches the show. So thanks, Louis, for tuning in.
So 2 categories they didn't beat us in. That was turnovers and penalties also. We always got to check in on that, check those boxes. No turnovers. And we both had 5 penalties, but theirs were more severe for 71 yards. Ours were only 34 yards. That's pretty good.
That is good. Those are not the aggressive kind of play or personal foul type of penalties. That's good. Good to see.
Hey, around the NFL happening right now, the Eagles are doing their very best to take it to the Saints. They're up by 10.
Man, let's go, Eagles. I'm watching that on my second screen here.
It actually hurts me to root for the Eagles, but I feel like I need to do it. I got the green shirt on. I was all right, fine. I'm going to do it. This is one time. Maybe no one will watch the show, and then no one will know.
Eagles started Jaden Hurst, huh?
Jalen Hurts, yeah, they sure did. They benched Carson Wentz and went with Jalen Hurts. Absolutely.
Boom, and the Lions are playing too as well, trying to help out with beating the Packers.
Right.
They're coming back now. All right, so yesterday we had some little bit more clearer picture for the college football playoffs.
Yeah, we did.
Florida took themselves out with an embarrassing loss to LSU, and it looks like the top 4 for the playoff has been solidified. Like I said, you've got Alabama, Notre Dame's going to slip in there. Ohio State's the one that it gets me because they've played 4 games.
Absolutely a crime.
Yeah, you can't show up and they sat out the first half of the season. And then they've been picking and choosing essentially the games that they play.
Yes,
taking breaks here and there. We're taking a break, and now they're going to get to go to the college. That's just not okay with me.
Well, they did want to play Michigan, but Michigan opted out due to some loss of players due to the COVID protocol.
Yeah.
And Clemson would be your 4th team. Actually, they're a 3rd seed, but they're the 4th team in the playoff that we're talking about.
And the argument, the eye test is what I'm hearing from a lot of the experts out there. Forget your eye test. How many teams have we seen at the end of the year, a big team like Ohio State that go down with some mediocre, team? They just catch them on a bad day. You gotta play the games. And there should have been a minimum amount required this year. There should have been some kind of a line that you have to draw because this is garbage.
So I don't want to take anything away from LSU. LSU is a good football team that had a couple of stumblings, earlier this year. That's a well-coached team.
They're defending champs, if I remember right.
Yeah. That's a good team. So I think Florida looked at their record and they didn't look at the film. They didn't look at the players in front of them. Kyle Trask, he threw 2 interceptions early in the game, and then unlucky for Florida. This is what I said earlier in the game. I said, that a bad win is better than a hard-fought loss, and that's what Florida wound up with. They had a chance at the very last second, the last play of the game to tie it up, and the kick didn't work for him, 51-yarder, I think. But
So you think they may have been looking past because they have the SEC championship game next against Alabama?
Yeah, which they're going to play Alabama.
Obviously, a huge game, right? That's Alabama's number 1 team. You're always wanting to knock off that team. You're looking at the college playoffs on the outside in. you're thinking, hey, do we just get past LSU? We play Alabama tight or win, and we're in the playoff. So you think maybe, again, they fell into the trap game.
They definitely. Hey, here's my question though. But is okay? Let's just say Alabama loses next week. Is Alabama? Okay. Do they fall out of the playoff picture at that point?
Didn't they make a rule that said that your championship game didn't impact that or something? I think that came out 2 or 3 years ago. But by all rights, I think they should. If they fall in the SEC championship game to Florida, I think they should fall out, which would open the door for another team. There's a couple of undefeated teams out there they've been talking about. Texas A&M is right there on the cusp as well. Mm-hmm. Cincinnati is one of those undefeated teams. Cincinnati was willing to play Ohio State. They're like, hey, we're 8-0. You're claiming conference superiority. Let's line up. Let's go. But
Ohio State had an opening in their schedule they could have played.
Yep.
So that last-minute field goal that was made possible for LSU was because a Gators defender threw a player's cleat down the field.
Out of frustration.
Yeah. Out of frustration. And otherwise, that field goal wouldn't even have been an option.
It's trending on Twitter as hashtag Shoegate.
Man, that's just a mental breakdown right there.
It's discipline. It's undisciplined. You've got to understand that you're, still in the game. You're probably going to win if you don't do anything stupid, and it just didn't happen. Miami got throttled yesterday as well by North Carolina.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I mean, I think North Carolina hung up 60-something on them. And everyone was in Miami. They only had I think they had a loss to Clemson early on, and they were kind of surging. The quarterback was playing well. Most of the pundits and voters were saying, "Hey, Miami is a good team. It's going to get a good, New Year's Day bowl, the Big Five bowl. They're going to be, in the conversation for the playoff. They probably won't make it into the playoff because of their loss. But bam, then North Carolina just comes in and shuts that all down.
Hey, do you think that there are too many bowl games? I mean, there's a bowl game for every. It used to be New Year's Day. That was the game when you watched the college football, the bowls, and then we got to a little bit of the playoff and the championship game. Maybe a couple of days later, a week later. Now, I mean, holy cow, we got bowls. We got the Gasparilla Bowl, we got the Tire Bowl, we got the Cereal Bowl, we got them all, man.
I think they start next week.
It's very watered down. Very watered down.
It is watered down. And what it originally began as was a way to reward the players for a hard season of work, right? You go to some nice warm climate town where they're going to treat you like kings for a week or two. You're going to have a parade. You're going to see, you're going to go to the theme parks. You're going to be on some television shows and do some fun things, go to the beach, that kind of stuff. Fun stuff that college guys like to do. They don't want to be stuck in Michigan or in Wisconsin, or they want to come to Tampa. They want to go to Miami. They want to go to New Orleans and enjoy the town and all that stuff. So then you had all the cities that were trying to get involved in that as well. They got big sponsors. They got some small sponsors. And it just kind of escalated. And I think you're right. It's watered down. It's no longer I think they were talking this week that Vanderbilt, who hasn't been to a bowl game ever, I don't believe, is going to get a bowl invite this year due to the lack of participation and the amount of bowl games available.
Wow.
So these, the St. Pete Times, whatever 5K bowl has to have somebody to play it. So it's going to be Vanderbilt versus, Sister Lady Christian
in the Charmin Toilet Bowl. Yeah,
right.
It reminds me of the Pro Bowl, actually.
yeah. Nobody wants to go that either. But you don't want to fault the players because again, they're fighting hard for every little benefit they get. They're just young men that are looking for life experiences and enjoying their comrades, their time with their teammates and coaches. And if they get to go to have a nice little treat somewhere, have at it. So I think it's up to NCAA to narrow in and get that more substantial and meaningful.
Yeah.
So I was always a big advocate for if you're going to have a playoff, make those lower tier bowls your playoff games. So your big one would be the national championship game, but then your runner-up games. So your NFC conference and AFC conference title games, essentially, right? But in NCAA speak, would be like the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl, right? The two big ones. And then the next tier would be like the Cotton Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. Those would be play-in games. And then below that, that's when you get into your little bit smaller bowls, the Gator Bowl and the
Outback Bowl would be in there.
The Outback Bowl. That's a good one. That's a big game. All the New Year's Day bowls. And so they kind of keep trickling down until you get to your how many ever team playoff you're going to have, 32, 64, whatever it is. And then, they get progressively bigger and more substantial as you go. I think that was the way to do it, but obviously they're not doing that. They didn't come to my house and ask me.
I like that idea because you can get a Cinderella team in there. You get one that just starts getting real hot and works its way up that ladder. And then, it becomes a great story. And
you still have your bowl games. Those towns and those stadiums and those sponsors still get, exposure and they sell tickets and they have their events. So it's a way to do it, but it has got a little ridiculous. As a fan, I enjoy watching those games on days you didn't think it's Wednesday afternoon. And you're like, oh, wow, I'm sitting here eating leftover turkey sandwiches, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a bowl game. All right, let's watch it. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of college football and the NFL, we did lose, former head coach of Alabama and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. Ray Perkins died.
Yeah.
Coach Ray famous for his 3-a-day workouts. No, thank you for that. But
he was the second coach in Buccaneers history, right? Right after John McKay. I believe it was.
Yes.
I think you're right on that. Yeah,
he's right.
Yeah.
And famous. Go ahead.
Famous for what?
And famous for when they asked him, hey, Coach, what do you think of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers execution? And he says, yeah, I'm all for it.
Oh, that was Coach McKay for sure.
Yeah. Oh, no, that wasn't Perkins. That's right. It was
that was McKay.
My bad.
Perkins was definitely famous for his 3-a-days practices.
Yeah.
And he had an interesting coaching tree. I'm going to look it up real quick while you guys are talking. But if I remember right, he was on the staff with Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick.
Absolutely, yeah.
At New York, he was in Alabama. So he's got a pretty good coaching tree as far as people that he worked with or worked for him that came around and did some great things. Let me look it up real quick.
He fell into the Buccaneer trap, and the Buccaneer trap back with the Culver houses was, we would pick up a marquee player, Heisman guy and Heisman Trophy winner or whatever, and that's what we would pay that guy. He's the only guy we would pay, so he was you could be the best coach in town, but he didn't have the talent, and that's because the front office, if back then, I don't know what the salary cap was, but let's just say the salary cap was $200 million. They would only spend, $110 million or $150 million. And Hugh Culverhouse, he'd come right out and tell you, I'm running the business, not a football team. I mean, I really feel like the Culverhouse has missed out on the fact, and this is something that I believe that the Steelers have capitalized on for a long time, that if you take care of your fans, who want to see W's, by the way. If you take care of your fans will take care of you. And I don't think he never trusted the fans, and he just wanted to get his money up front.
The Buccaneers were considered the quarterback killers of the league. I mean, Steve Young and all the quarterbacks that came through us that went somewhere else to be great. And
do you know why they became great? Because here they had like 1.9 to 2.0 seconds to throw the football. Everywhere else they went, they go to San Francisco. Steve Young went to San Francisco where he had 2.5 seconds to throw the football. That's an eternity for him. Yeah. He's like, it's like, it's so nice out here. I got all this time. So I mean, we made a lot of guys. We made their careers by coming here and getting the snot beat out of them for a couple of years.
The smartest guy was Bo Jackson. He said, "Don't get me because I ain't coming."
Right, and then they did, and he did.
Yeah. Good for him too. He turned down a pile.
Brilliant move.
So just looking at Ray Perkins' coaching lineage, he was he succeeded Bear Bryant at Alabama, first of all.
Yeah.
Right. That was huge. And then he did go on to coach the Giants, and Bill Parcells was the defensive coordinator. So his coaching tree is Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick That's a pretty good coaching tree. It's people you hired and identified as coaches you're going to work with and can put people in the right positions. That's impressive on his part for his, the hate he received for not being a great coach here.
Yeah, I honestly don't feel that it was him as much as it was he didn't have, the tools he needed to work with.
Yeah, he went to the coaching graveyard. I mean,
well, there was a culture of not winning yet. There was a new franchise, and like Chief was pointing out that the ownership was clearly not behind it.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem right there.
Right. So that's what's going to happen. If you're not going to have a winning culture, it doesn't matter what kind of coach you have in there.
Yeah,
unfortunately. So, in some other big sports news here in the Tampa Bay area, the Rays pulled off a trade on Thursday, I believe it was, where they sent Nate Lowe out west, and in return got some prospects. So it'll be interesting to see I know what they were going for. The main thing they were looking for was a catcher.
Yeah.
Right. So the Rays have parted ways with both Fernando Perez and Zunino is, I think he's a restricted free agent, or he is a free agent, but he's more than likely going to come back, or they're going to have the ability to make him an offer. So they have no short-term catching prospect, and they're looking, and they don't have a long-term prospect either. They have one in, I think, Double-A who could potentially become a major league catcher, but they really wanted to get down there. So they got some 20-year-old kid who's got some pretty incredible stats for minor leagues. Now, nobody played this season because of the minor leagues were shut down this season, but his 2019 stats were pretty impressive. And they got a couple other prospects in there as well.
And well, along with the Rays, they also lost their the Charlotte Stone Crabs.
Yeah, the minor leagues, the Major League Baseball's minor league teams are all contracting. Not all of them. A lot of them are contracting because of financial reasons. There's just no more. They didn't play it all last year, and it's very difficult to operate a business like that when you're only getting 1,000, 2,000 fans anyway. And some of those smaller town teams had to be contracted, unfortunately.
So the Rays do their spring training in Port Charlotte at the Stone Crabs facility.
Yes.
Are they still going to do spring training there?
They still will train in the spring down there,
okay.
But they will not have that. It's a short ride. For those of you not familiar geographically, the St. Pete, where the Rays play, the Tropicana Field, is only about an hour, maybe an hour and a half north of their High A affiliate, which was the Charlotte Stone Crabs. So it was quite easy to have a guy that you were going to rehab. Say, someone's coming back from Tommy John surgery. The coaching staff, the training staff were all fairly close to that stadium where that player could go and rehab. They could get some work in. You could see them on simulated field or simulated at bats. You could see them during simulated games. See them on throwing at a stadium. See them throwing against some competition. Get some game reps in. It was very convenient. Now they'll be in Bowling Green, Kentucky, I believe, is the new High A affiliate. So it's a little further away. They still have Durham. They still have Montgomery, and I think there is another single A somewhere. Princeton, I don't know. So, but I think to me the real problem is not just the Rays losing that affiliate, but there was lots of other affiliates. The Braves had just built a brand new stadium in that area as well for their single A team, and I don't think that's going to make it. I think they're going to have to sell that off.
So do you think this is going to hurt the teams like the Rays and the Braves who, they don't spend a whole lot of money on the big players like the Yankees and the Red Sox, where they've got these players already paid for up front? They're not counting so much on their farm system. Do you feel like that's going to affect, teams like the Rays and the Braves more?
We'll see. I mean, that's going to come. I think right now they'll probably just kind of lean out the system a little bit. There's always going to be a lot of glut in this type of system where you have, 6 teams you have to fill up with prospect players. The guys in your Double-A team and in your Triple-A team are going to be active prospects. You're going to have to put your money and your resources in there. None of those are going away. It's the smaller ones, the High A, the Rookie Ball A, the Low A, those teams or those franchises where you've got, smaller bits and maybe less certain types of players. Like those guys, you're not going to count those guys. You know that a guy in single A that has been there for 2 years is probably not going to advance if he hasn't advanced already. You know, that kind of deal. Hey, guess what? Who's done with their assignment? Boom.
Look who's here.
Lucky, you made it.
Hey, he's at a different spot on the screen.
Oh, we can fix that.
I'm so confused right now. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. He's just in time for some breaking news because the Chargers did beat the Falcons, and the Eagles are doing their very best with like a minute and a half left.
They're hanging on. 3
points to go, man. That's an eternity for Drew Brees, or for actually not Drew Brees, but
they do have the ball. They do have the ball with a minute and a half left. So let's see what they can do here.
The Eagles have the ball, or the Saints have the ball?
Eagles have the ball. It's a first down. Minute 23. The Saints have one more timeout left. So let's hope they can get another first down. Well, they're actually in field goal territory as well. Let's hope they get another first down and put these Saints away.
All right. Well, B-Love, we were just about to have a square root competition. Are you ready?
Yeah. No problem. I got this.
Put your loan calculator down.
Hey, let's go over the results from last week since he finally made it here.
Do it. All right. So, first of all, I want to apologize for the live show last week at the page.
Yeah, don't watch
if you haven't watched it, please don't.
Just hang your head, guys. Everyone, just hang your head for a minute, everyone.
Listen, it was a fantastic concept.
That's what I was just
going to
say.
It would have been amazing if we had the right technology. So, like, if you want us to have the right technology, you need to make sure that you like and subscribe to all of our stuff and share. And we'll get the right technology that we need to bring you awesome content on the fly like that.
Just don't share last week's video.
Don't share. It wasn't that bad. I did watch some of it, and the sound is not great. The visual is not great because of the darkness. But like he just said, the concept was there. The execution just was. So, John McKay might say, how was the execution? He'd say, I'm all for it.
I'm all for it. Yeah.
Anyway, so I did write down.
I've got to say about last week, though, I am disappointed that I came onto this show, although late, and the Chief isn't wearing his holiday jacket.
He did wear a funny hat.
Oh, I should have put the holiday. I wore this. I did wear this.
There you go.
Just as a teaser. We didn't really talk much about it, but just, we did announce that we have a new short that's going to drop hopefully at the end of this week or at the very beginning of next week.
What's the concept? Let's talk about it.
I'm just going to say Christmas, maybe.
Christmas. It's Christmas theme.
Yeah.
It's Christmas theme. Let's do it that. All right. So I did manage to write down the picks on the side of the road during the golf cart parade.
Okay.
So the first game we chose was the Patriots and the Rams, the Thursday night game.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams just absolutely throttled the Patriots. The Patriots are my bold prediction for the NFL football season was the Patriots would finish last. I'm not sure how good that's going to be with the Jets being 10 times worse, but they're trying their best to meet my bold prediction.
Just in fairness to the Patriots, I think they had the most amount of starters that opted out this year because of COVID, and their quarterback wears a dress. So that's
their new quarterback. Their old quarterback does not. He drives $2 million boats.
Dude, I'm seeing games where Cam Newton is passing for like 80 to 90 yards. In multiple games, I've seen this. He's only had a couple of games where he went off on, and he made over 300 yards on one, and I think he was in 270 range on another. What happened to Cam Newton?
The dress. I'm gonna go with Chiefs dress.
Yeah. Okay, so who did anybody pick the Patriots?
Did I what?
Did anyone pick the Patriots?
Come
on, man.
It must have been me. Oh, God.
There's an echo in here. I'm not really sure I can hear you guys so well. It sounds like there was it sounds like I picked him.
Wow.
And I was all by myself on that one. So the next game was the Cowboys and the Bengals.
Yes.
And the Cowboys just, again, throttled the Bengals. Of course, the quarterbackless Bengals were out there. They're not looking so great. We all did choose the Cowboys, so that gives you guys a victory. The next game would be –
So I'm 2-0 so far.
You are 2-0.
Yeah, but you're not alone. So am I. So is TSG.
You're all 2-0.
What?
The next game, what? Yep. The next game is the Broncos at the Panthers. And the Broncos end up winning that game. Surprisingly, we all picked the Panthers except for Chief, who came away with a Bronco victory. And if I remember right, at this point, he was across the street trying to get an interview with someone about the golf cart and how they decorated it, and still was able to pick the correct team. Absolutely amazing. And our final game was the Cardinals and the Giants. And
I believe
the Cardinals won.
The Cardinals won that game, and the Chiefs took the
Giants in honor of Matty Ho, I believe.
He did. No,
it was apologies to Matty Ho.
He did not.
Okay.
Apologies to the Matty Ho. So that gives him a perfect 4-0 record, and he must wear the wig of shame. So good job, Chief.
Way to go, Chief.
Why would I wear the wig of shame? Because I won.
Got that?
That's not me.
Nobody likes someone who wins
just
every week.
Have some audio problems here.
We know
Sounds
who
like-
he's there. Right
Listen,
there.
I believe this guy right here.
Yeah, that's the
wearing
one.
the wig of
That's
shame.
the one.
How do I? There you go. Right
There
there.
it is.
That guy
You got
right
it.
there. Right there. Wig of shame.
Man, look, I don't have a wig here. I was 1-3 on these picks. That's pathetic. No, excuse me. I'm 0-4. No, I got the Cowboys.
You did get
1-3.
yeah.
Absolutely atrocious.
You may not have a wig, but I know you got antlers.
Did all down. I don't have anything up here. I got nothing. I got a trash can. Let me put the trash can on.
That's appropriate.
What? Those are trash cans.
That's appropriate.
Let me make sure one of my kids didn't throw up in this on their recent.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Okay. Oh, this is going to sound great.
There you go. All right, so I got the cone of shame.
The cone of shame.
The bear is wearing a trash can on his head.
That's all I got.
Hey, you got,
Man, this show is going downhill in a hurry.
What are you talking about? This is an upgrade.
I think it's fantastic because if any of us had put that trash can on our heads, it'd be like down to our shoulders.
Oh,
But
my goodness.
he puts the thing on and it almost fits.
Is that a fat head joke?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being bullied for my fat head.
Sorry, folks. We don't have enough money for real props.
That's right. Unless, of course, you follow and subscribe.
Yeah,
All right, it's not paying on cards.
Yes.
All right, so I do have the picks for our upcoming week. B-Love, this is going to be a shock to you, but you're going to have to pedal faster.
Hey, listen, I can do it on the fly.
All right, well, the first game we're looking at is the Chargers at the Raiders. This is a Thursday night game. What do you guys got?
I'm going with the Raiders.
All right, B-Love's going Vegas. Chief?
Oh, I'm definitely going Vegas. That is absolutely going to happen.
Okay. TSG?
Yes, Vegas.
Oh, my goodness. So I've got two choices here. I can follow the Lemmings, but go out on their own here. I do like the way the Chargers. I'm going to go with Chargers. I like the way they're playing.
You're going to be wearing that hat again.
Yeah, how about it? We're definitely getting them get the antlers out next week. Have you sit down with them. All right, let's go. What else we got?
All right, next game. Panthers at Packers. Will Christian McCaffrey be back this week? He was
Packers.
out.
I'm going Packers.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's a no-brainer.
Hey, this is our Saturday game, by the way. It's the first Saturday game.
Not McCaffrey. The Packers win this game.
You think so, huh?
It doesn't matter whether McCaffrey plays or not.
Okay. LB goes Green Bay. Chief?
Dude, I'm going to tell you straight up. I am actually on the fence on this one. I feel that the Packers have the home field advantage. It is December. It's going to be cold. But I have been to a Panthers game, in late November, and it's really cold there too. So, man.
Well, this one's in Green. This one's in Green Bay. He did not. He was scheduled to play, was questionable, and then about 12:30, I got the alert from my fantasy team. He was out.
I was working at 12:30. I missed that alert.
So was I. Guess who missed the chance to pull him out of the lineup?
Well,
Chief's rubbing the crystal ball over there. I want to see what he's going to do.
I know. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go Packers. I'm going to go home field advantage. I'm going to go Packers.
All right. I'm going to go Packers as well. TSG, what you got?
I already said Packers.
Oh, sorry. I missed it. All right, next game. The Washington football team, who is about to defeat the San Francisco 49ers. They are at home against the Seattle Seahawks.
I know Seattle is a great team, but I really like what the Washington football team is doing right now. Yeah. Alex Smith, hands down, comeback player of the year. Yeah. This puts them on a pretty good run. And I think they're going to head in, or they're going to run into them while they're in the middle of some momentum, and the Seahawks do not leave there with a victory.
I agree with you. I'm taking Washington as well. Chief?
Well, I'm gonna let TSG go because he keeps taking all my picks after
I'm going Washington.
Tell him what's going to happen. So
Washington's going to win the division. Washington's playing great. They're running game. They're controlling the ball. Alex Smith is playing excellent. There's no doubt in my mind that Washington's going to win this game. I know Seahawks are tough, but
Seahawks defense is not what it was.
No, the Seattle defense isn't very good. Seattle's got to cross the continent to play this game. You guys are all right on that. Alex Smith is the comeback player of the year. That guy, he's found his groove again, and we are right that Washington will win this game.
All right. And just as a side note, the Washington has
people to say. I think we all picked the same game.
Yeah,
that's all right. The Washington's going to have to travel across the country for this one as well. They're in San Francisco. Well, I guess they're not in San Francisco. They're in wherever San Francisco is playing.
Yeah, I think they're in Arizona or something like that.
That's right.
I just got to be clear that in the event of a tie, TSG always wears the wig.
Yeah, new guy. Absolutely.
New guy wears the wig.
New guy rules. It's man law. All right. Final game we're picking is the Patriots at the Dolphins.
Also a Saturday game.
Quarterback for the Dolphins.
We do not know. Tua was pulled today for Fitzmagic, so you'll have to pick your choice without that knowledge.
It doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and go first on this one, guys.
Go ahead.
The Patriots stink. This is the Dolphins are going to win this one. I don't care who plays quarterback.
Listen, their record is as good as the Buccaneers, and they don't have 30 Pro Bowlers on their team.
I'm going Miami as well.
Yeah. Me too, Miami.
All right, B-Love.
Fitzmagic, baby.
All right.
We're going together. Go down.
There it is.
When is the group? Die as a group.
Since we all picked the same
we got to add it. We got to add another game.
Pooh Bear went rogue on that first one. He went Chargers.
Two.
That's right. Okay.
So we'll have a clear defined winner. Don't you worry. You'll be wearing that wig. All right. So it is Christmas time, and I have assembled through massive research and some college interns looking into some things. I have assembled the definitive, undisputable, non-arguable top 10 list of Christmas movies.
Oh, I also have a top 10 list of Christmas movies.
Like I said, indisputable. Yeah. Therefore, your list is invalid, sir.
I cannot wait for this.
So, so it's a tradition at my house. We love movies. We watch them, pretty regularly. When it comes to Christmas time, we switch it up to Christmas movies, and we kind of have like a big 6 or big 5 that we kind of hold off until towards Christmas time or Christmas Day, and up through that time we have the minor leagues. We watch the smaller movies that don't mean as much to us. Maybe some of these Netflix produced specials, things like that. But the top 10 that we have to watch every year. Number one,
very serious.
I do with number 1 or number 10. Which were you?
I'm sorry, number 10. But
yeah, okay.
Working backwards, the first movie in my list is Jingle All the Way. Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting over Turbo Man. Turbo Man. I said indisputable, Patrick. Okay. So this is Sinbad.
Time out. Chief, is that one even on your list?
I've never even heard of that one. It's not on my list. Never heard of it. And I'm going to watch it. He didn't say he lost me at Sinbad. Sinbad and Christmas, dude.
Oh my gosh. Sinbad is one of my favorite stand-up comics. He keeps it clean. He's funny without being raunchy. And in this movie, he plays the bad guy, and it is amazing. I love this movie. It's a fun Saturday afternoon. Sit down and watch it. It's fantastic. All right. Number 9. A lot of you probably don't consider this one a Christmas movie, but it is. And no, I'm not saying Die Hard. I'm saying Trading Places. Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis. It is a fantastic movie set in Philadelphia at Christmas time. Talks about the redemption, the commercialization of Christmas, and brings it all back home. The good guy wins in the end, who had nothing to begin with, but comes back and wins it all. All right, number 8.
Chief, hold on, time out. Chief?
Look, I'm just going to have to – we're just going to let him roll, okay, with his list, and then I'll come back.
That's not on your list either.
No, never heard of that one either.
I think after these come out, the team has to give either a thumbs up or a thumbs down on these.
That's just let him go.
So far, I'm 0 for 2 of ever even heard of these movies.
You've never heard of Trading Places?
I thought it was the show where they like 2 house guests, 2 people switch homes,
That's
and
Trading
they painted each other.
Oh, okay.
Chevy Chase and Eddie Murphy.
Trading Places. It's comedy gold. By the way, it is R-rated. It is not family friendly. So don't sit down with your kids to watch this. You're going to see Jamie Lee Curtis's boobies and some other things you don't want to see or hear. All right. Number 8.
What was that movie again? Hold on. I'm gonna write
Trading Places.
Wow.
Man, come over next week.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
Number 8 is Ron Howard's take on The Grinch, starring Jim Carrey. That was a movie we watched last night.
How is that only number 7?
Because it's number 8, and it's not that great. The original Grinch, the cartoon, is actually a lot better to me than this one. But it's still good. It's well acted. It's got a nice story. Jim Carrey is absolutely at his best during this movie. Not quite liar, liar, Jim Carrey, but real close. All right. Number 7. Again, you guys probably don't consider this one a Christmas movie. We watch it on Thanksgiving because it's a Thanksgiving movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Steve Martin and John Candy, absolute riot. Okay? By the way, he's losing it. He's losing it. This is the movie that sets up Christmas time. Okay, you have to watch it. And it's also produced or directed by the late, great John Hughes, who probably directed the rest of the movies on this list that you've all heard of. He's absolutely amazing. The heart in this movie is amazing. Also, I believe this one's rated R. No Jamie Lee Curtis movies, but a lot of bad words. So not something to sit down and watch with the kids. All right, number 6. On to the stuff that you guys know. The Santa Claus. Tim Allen. Classic. This was, to me, was one of the more original takes on that whole. It was never done before that I know of, where a dad becomes Santa Claus and does the whole thing for the night. Absolutely fantastic. Number 5, Elf. All right, this is.
I know him. I know him.
We finally made it to one on my list.
Finally, a good one.
Finally, come on, keep it coming, man. We got.
All right, so we all know that one. I don't need to go into an explanation on that one. Number 4, Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
absolute riot.
I can't believe that's only number 4.
Well, wait till you get the top 3. I mean,
come on, keep on.
Listen, I know my number 1 is. I'm pretty sure it's your number 1. I'm excited for this.
Probably not. Number 3, Home Alone.
Yes, there you go.
Another John Hughes film, by the way. Okay. Christmas Vacation was also John Hughes.
Christmas, man.
He was amazing. Gremlin, it doesn't matter.
Like Tom Brady, it just took Pooh Bear a minute to warm up, and get going.
No, this is all warm. If you think about it, never mind. Number 2, A Christmas Story. Nostalgic. It's well acted. It's a great story. I wasn't alive in the 50s, but I could see how this is what it was, right? The whole Ovaltine, the Red Ryder BB gun, all the living in a small town in Ohio, just amazing. And number 1, possibly the greatest movie of all time, It's a Wonderful Life.
What? How does Die Hard not even make the top 10?
Let me tell you what. I watched Die Hard on Friday night. It's not a good Christmas movie.
All right, let me go ahead.
Hey,
I'm going to help us out here, okay? I'm going to help you guys out for look. Something I'm not going to do tomorrow is go to Pooh Bear's house and watch Christmas movies. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I'm out.
Listen, I'm going to run through this. I'm going to run through this real quick, guys. Here we go. 1988, Scrooge, number 10. Number 9,
It's a Halloween movie. It's full of ghouls and
I'm trying to get through this. I'm trying to get through this in
Bill
a hurry.
Murray. Awesome.
Number 9, A Christmas Carol, version 1951. Number 8, Home Alone, 1990. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, the 1947 version of A Miracle on 34th Street.
Okay. Not
Classic. 1954 gave us White Christmas. Bing Crosby, not really a huge fan of it. My wife is, though, so it made the list of number
It's good 6. Music, but again, I don't get the Christmas feels.
Number 5, 1983, is When We Got a Christmas Story. Gonna lose your eye. How about this one? By the way, number 4, this was a surprise to me. 1992 gave us A Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, then.
But you already had Christmas Carol on the list, so you're saying one's better than the other.
Yeah, there's 2. Yeah, apparently the Muppet version
is better than
the actual one.
Actually, you did Scrooge. That's 3. So you really like this story.
Not me. This is what the interweb has to say.
Oh.
This is official research here. Okay, in third place, 2003 is when we saw Elf. My personal favorite came in at number 2, 1989. We've already said it.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
No.
Oh, come on.
Vacation.
Yes, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's fantastic. I mean, the cat catches a tree on fire. The guy's wig is burned up. I mean, it's a great one.
You serious, Clark?
Nice. Then number 1, we will agree on this. 1946, It's a Wonderful Life.
Best movie ever.
My list didn't have Die Hard on it either, which I thought.
B-Love.
Wow.
I'm with you, B-Love.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
I am with you. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It absolutely is.
So is Lethal Weapon a Christmas movie? Is Iron Man 3 a Christmas movie?
Did either one of those guys fall out of the Nakatomi Tower?
No, but they all took place on Christmas Day or Christmas
Doesn't matter.
Eve.
All right, so I have a legit question.
Hang on.
Okay.
Obviously, Die Hard to me is a Christmas movie. We don't have to argue that right now.
And to a lot of people.
But you said, Pooh Bear, that the Grinch animated version was better than Jim Carrey's version, but it wasn't even in your top 10. Explain.
Yes. So it's not a great must-watch movie, right? Once you've seen the Grinch, and it's only okay. I also forgot to say this. I didn't include any 30-minute short movies like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Frosty the Snowman, any of the Rankin and Bass stop-motion stuff. I consider that like the Charlie Brown Christmas. Those are all little half-hour cartoon specials. They're not movies to me. That's why those weren't in there.
It's not a feature. Yes.
Correct. So I went with full-length 2-hour theatrical releases. So you are correct. I do believe that little 30-minute clip with Boris Karloff as the voice of the Grinch and the narrator as better than Jim Carrey's Grinch, but it's just not a full-length movie.
You got to have Charlie Brown Christmas. I mean,
I like Charlie Brown's Christmas. It's one of the only ones that tells the actual Christmas story through biblical terms. Which is amazing, but it's not a movie. It's a short cartoon gimmick.
You watch a lot of movies.
When it comes to Christmas time, I do. During the year, I don't watch anything but sports, football, baseball, hockey. I don't watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of YouTube during my spare time, but for the most part, it's Christmas time. We watch a lot of movies as a family. Yes.
Oh, doggone it. I had my hat ready to go during my list, and I forgot to put it on. There it is.
Wear that for the picks.
Because I was 4-0.
Oh,
that's why.
See, I told you had to.
Wow.
Hey, do you got anybody want to hear about the guy in China?
Yeah.
You guys want to hear about this?
I do want to hear about the Chinese guy. Was this involved with the new sport?
I don't think it's a new sport. It's an old sport. But I got to tell you, man, I found this story just absolutely ridiculous. And so here we go. In China, there is a form of Kung Fu.
China.
Yeah. It's a form of Kung Fu called Iron Crotch Kung Fu.
What the?
Yeah. Let me tell you a little something about this. They take a 6.5-foot log, they cap it with a piece of steel, and they put it on a couple of chains so that it swings like a pendulum back and forth like this, right? And then you stand in front of it and it hits you right in the junk.
I'm out.
Yeah. That's their plan. And here's what they say. This is 88 pounds coming at you, though. 88 pounds. And it says, no pain, no loss of fertility. Who wants to come sign up for this?
No loss of fertility.
That's what they say. By the way, they used to have 85 people that practiced it in the world. Now they're down to 5.
Wow.
People aren't really.
I'm trying to picture this in my head. Is there a person on either side of the log as it swings, or is it just it's pulled back and then?
Yeah, somehow they just pull it back and just release it, and you just stand there and just like, here we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they sing tenor afterwards?
They might sing tenor afterwards.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I know someone else who might have sing tenor pretty soon.
But they don't just have iron crotch. They also have iron throat, iron head, iron chest, and iron back. This doesn't sound. I don't know if the iron form of kung fu is for me. By the way.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not down with that either. I don't like to be hit with anything, ever.
Yeah, especially. I mean, it's not like they're getting. It's not like it's an actual fight, where you can defend it and block it. These guys are just standing there. It's like, go ahead, man, release the log.
How do you win? How do you win?
I don't know that you do. Are there winners in this?
Well, you don't lose facility.
In doing it, right? There's some point in doing it. What is it?
I don't know. He says they've been able to conquer pain.
Can you take it?
No.
I'm going to say no.
Nope.
No. You won. To me, this reminds me of that old game we used to play like in 5th grade, where let's play the who can punch the softest. You go first.
Yes.
And they give you a little tap, and then you come in and you win.
That's
kind of what it reminds me of.
Reminds me of those guys that sit across the table and they slap each other at full.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Dude,
I don't want to play any games where I'm going to get hurt on purpose.
Look, like I said, I don't want to be hit with anything ever.
I don't understand MMA. Why do I want someone to hit me?
I don't.
Well, at least at MMA, the goal is not to get hit. At least you have the chance to defend yourself.
I mean, it's the
right,
same in
and fight back.
Yeah,
it's the same in a lot of sports, but still, I don't want to be hit in the face ever.
No, I don't want to be hit with a glove. I don't want to be kicked in the jimmy. I don't want to be, hit with a log. None of that. That just does not sound fun.
He said Jimmy.
Gotta clean it up for the YouTube, man. What else we got? We got 3 minutes left in the show. What do you guys want to talk about? I think we've covered all the topics I had in the description, so we are freewheeling as
No, we got movie props to talk about. Did you guys see that the James Bond gun from Dr. No sold this week or maybe late last week?
Yeah, the Walther PPK.
It's a Walther PPK, which is probably a $200 gun, and this one doesn't work. It's been it's an actual gun, but it doesn't fire anymore. It's sold for $256,000.
Was this the actual prop, or was this a replica of the prop?
No, my understanding is this is the actual prop. But to kind of put it in perspective, why I don't know why anybody paid that kind of money for it, because like the Tom in the same auction, the helmet, one of the helmets that Tom Cruise wore in Top Gun, sold for $108,000, and then apparently Bruce Willis used a sword in Pulp Fiction, which I remember Pulp Fiction, but I don't remember a sword. It sold for $35,200.
See, I would be interested in that Top Gun Maverick helmet. That to me is something of interest that I could enjoy on display in my home.
Yeah, at least you can display that, but you can't even put the gun on display. I don't know. Even if it doesn't work, someone's gonna have a problem with your gun being out.
Right.
Yeah.
But that helmet, that is an iconic helmet. That is everyone know, well, not everyone, but most people would know what that helmet was from if they saw it on your shelf.
Right.
Instant conversation starter.
I would be interested in buying that shoulder holster that Bruce Willis wore in Die Hard, the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
he wore it for like 5 minutes. Then he was shirtless in a wife beater for the rest of the movie.
I'll buy the wife beater.
Oh, 100.
Not gonna fit.
Listen, Die Hard's a great movie. I watched it Friday night. I did. I love that movie, but it is not.
Yippee-ki-yay.
It is not a top 10 Christmas movie. Not top 10. Sorry.
Nah.
This has been verified through a double-blind study through the University of Pooh Bear, and it is undeniable, indisputable. Cannot be argued. So don't try. All right. What else? B-Love, why don't you close us out since I opened, and that's normally my job. You close us out. You do my job.
I don't know what to do.
Listen,
You thank the fans for watching.
Yeah. In all seriousness, thanks for joining in with us tonight. What is this, man? This is like episode 39.
39. Yep.
This is the first live show I've missed any part of. I feel like I had the best record coming into tonight.
And I did because
you did.
Yeah. And you're also going to be out tomorrow or next week, right?
Out next Sunday night. Yeah. So, but still tune in, even though I'm not going to be here. It'll still be a great show as it was before.
More than likely, that's why people will tune in.
Yeah. So, anyways, thanks for joining us tonight. We had a great time with you as always. I am Beloved with Pooh Bear, the Chief, and TSG. If you like our stuff, don't forget to hit the subscribe button now on YouTube, and share with all your friends. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
Look for the short.